مباركا يا رب العالمين، واجعل تفرقنا من بعده تفرق من غفر له ذنبه وستر عيبه وتقبل عمله. Inshallah, today we will be inshallah answering the questions, with most of the questions related to the previous lecture. We have already some questions that sent to the Masjid. Sheikh Sulaiman inshallah will read it loudly, and will try inshallah to answer it according to my knowledge. And Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sulaiman, go ahead.
Bismillah salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. So a questioner asks, I'm writing to seek your guidance on the permissibility of purchasing a car through a PCP, personal contract purchase. In car finance, PCP is a plan where you pay a deposit followed by monthly payments, which has a fixed profit rate, as known as annual premium rate APR, with the option at the end to return the car, pay a final amount to own it, or trade it in for a new deal. Although PCP agreements typically involve interest payments, I've come across opinions suggesting that these payments may not necessarily constitute riba under certain conditions, and that it is a profit rate and that it is permissible in Islam to charge a fixed higher fee for a product which, if paid in installments in a fixed agreement time period. According to information I found on Islam QA, financing a car through PCP can be permissible if certain requirements are met, such as the finance company owning the car during the term of the contract. This has led me to question whether such an arrangement could be considered halal. My understanding is that PCP charges an annual premium rate, and sometimes this APR is used as a term called interest, but it doesn't just necessarily mean that it is in Islamic terms. Could you please provide clarity on whether entering into a PCP agreement is permissible in Islam, given that the finance company owns the car and the profit involved may not be considered riba? I'm eager to ensure that my financial decisions align with the Islamic teachings. I would greatly appreciate your guidance in this matter. Jazakumullah khairan.
Now, I don't know the company that he's dealing with, but always when you involve a contract like this, try to involve in either an Islamic company, that means a company that has Sharia board or has someone who is knowledgeable and can advise them Islamically what to do. But generally speaking, according to the question, now the first point, that not everything that people here in this country call it interest, it is riba, because they use this word for riba and they use for other things, like for example the interest or the amount of profit they will put above the installment payments, they call it interest as well. So now in this situation, basically, if the contract is this way, you rent a car, and during the renting period, the company owns the car. And when we say it owns the car, that means it has the responsibility and for the everything regarding this car in terms of loss, damage, except if you cause this is another issue. So now in Islam, what does it mean when you own something? We mentioned that in last lecture. When you own something, that means you can have the profit out of that commodity, and at the same time you are responsible. So this is the ownership. So if the company has this, it is responsible in the car. It can generate money as a rent from you, and at the same time they are responsible in the car, on the main maintenance of the car, not the daily maintenance. Main maintenance, that the huge maintenance that they're taking or using the car rely on it. Daily maintenance, like fuel, changing the oil, things like this, that you need to do it because of your use. But the main maintenance for the car, for example, the major engine maintenance, has nothing to do with your responsibility. The loss of the car, if the car is stolen, not because of your any out of control and was stolen, or for example it was affected by flood or something like this, it's not your problem. And let's say the car is not insured, it's their responsibility. The tenancy or the rental agreement is completely separate from the second agreement. So let's say after 3 years they decided not to give it to you. If there is no agreement, you can't force them to do so. So this is how we understand it. Now the installments, if they say, for example, we will have interest rate 1.5. Every year we will raise the price for 1.5 because of the inflation, blah blah. It doesn't matter as long as the amount you are paying is fixed, or you are told how much to pay in advance. Every year they can check the contract. Okay, so this year because of the inflation we are raising the rent to 1.50, or we are charging you extra 2%. It doesn't matter as long as they do this in advance, not backdated. Now what is done last year, it's finished. They can't increase it. But what is coming in the future, they can increase it, no problem. And you are happy with this, alhamdulillah. You're not happy, you cancel the contract and you leave this contract. So this is how it works, and this has become Islamic. So according to my understanding to this, it looks okay, it looks fine, as long as they don't have any other issue in the contract. Yes, sir.
We'll take a question from the floor if anyone has one. Yes, brother.
How would you expect the company, the car company, to treat the car similar to your example of the house? They're not going to rely on you if there's a dent in the car. You've got to repair it. So they're not taking the loss. It's your insurance. You've got to be insured. You have to insure the car legally in this country to drive. So they're not taking any loss.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how it could be permissible.
Good question.
Can I just?
Yeah.
The brother asked, how do you expect the car company who rented you the car to take full ownership when they have no liability with any damages, because that's done through an insurance, for example? So how does that relate?
Yeah. Now basically, when we say they take the liability or responsibility on the car, it doesn't matter how they do it, as long as they take the responsibility. So in your question or in your situation you mentioned in the car, usually who covers this is the insurance company. So the insurance premium should be paid by them, not you. Now, if this is allowed by the law, then this is how it should be Islamically. The owner of the car should pay for the insurance. But the law in this country could be different. So you are the driver and you should be insured for this. In this situation, we don't have options. We are obliged to do so. So that's why you as a driver, you have to pay for your insurance. But the idea, Islamically, what covers the car, or what make the responsible of the car should cover the big loss of the car through the insurance company, which the owner should do so. But now, if we leave the car, we go to the house, ownership. Now, in Islamic banks, forget about Islamic banks, in the correct contracts, usually when you go for partnership, for example, musharaka, you pay 20%, they pay 80%. If the contract is Islamic and pure, they should pay 80% of the insurance and you pay 20% of the insurance. Everybody should take liability according to his ownership. So this is the same with the cars, but the problem with the car in this country, you as a driver, you have to be insured. That's why you have to take the responsibility. Through the law, you are forced to do so. Otherwise, Islamically, if I have a car rental, if I rent cars, Islamically, I should cover the big loss or the major loss in the car. So when we talk about Islamic contracts, you are not in Muslim country. Even in Muslim countries, unfortunately, they don't follow the Islamic the way of signing or making contracts. But if you are obliged, you have no option. You have to go for insurance and you pay for it. You raise it, brother. Jazakallah khair.
Just a question which has been sent. Gatehouse Bank, as well as other UK Sharia compliant banks, so-called Sharia compliant banks, have savings account that pay a fixed amount of what they call profit every month. For example, a profit rate of 4.2%. Or utilizing these savings accounts and the profit paid, is it permissible?
Last question. The last part of the question.
Are utilizing these savings accounts and the profits which they pay permissible?
Okay. Finish the question?
Yeah, finished.
Okay. Now before we answer the question, now we have to understand one thing, brothers. don't get upset when you see different opinion in Islamic finance. It's the same, like wudu, like salah, like other issues. Now, if you are Hanbali and you eat camel meat, you go and make wudu because you believe it nullifies your wudu. With the Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanafi, they pray. They don't believe that eating camel meat affects the salah. It's a major. It's more important than financial issues because it's salah, second pillar in Islam. So if you are a Hanbali, you are not allowed to pray if you have eaten camel meat. So in financial issues, the dispute is worse than this. It's more complicated than this. So don't expect everything will be pure, agreed upon. No. Even amongst the madhab, forget about the Islamic banks. Amongst the madhab, this sheikh said, or this madhab said, this is riba. The other madhab said, no, it's not riba. So take it easy and relax and don't claim everything is haram. This is number one. Number two, I hear this everywhere. So-called Islamic bank. People think Islamic bank is a charity. You come, I'll give you money, go on, Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, the day of judgment will take it back from you. No. It's a company. It's a business company. Now, when you realize this, imagine now, you, akhi, you're doing some business, I give you money, give you 100,000. Say, brother, invest it for me. We make a contract. Then you have 3, 4 people come to you, they want to invest the money that you have. Will you take the pious one? Will you take the one who will have full loaded of due debts? Or you will choose the best and the clever one who will make more profit for you? This is what you will do. This is, Islam did not prevent you from making money. Islam prevent you from eating haram. Now, because the banks, or the nature of the bank is based on riba, people are always scared. And this is fine. That's good, alhamdulillah, to have this feeling that shows that you have iman. But at the same time, when you have someone who claims to have a halal contract, don't abuse or accuse him without proof. Now, when you say so-called Islamic bank, it's easy to say it. But if you look at the procedures they do in Islamic banks, or some Islamic banks, forget about the names mentioned here, nothing to do with them, I don't know them, and I'm not saying they are good or bad, I'm just generally speaking. If you look at the procedures, if you look at the searches and the efforts they do to make it halal, you won't say this. This is number one. Number two, now, in your daily life issues, nikah, talaq, salah, what do you do usually? What do you do? I'm asking you. Can you answer? How do you find out about these issues? What's the procedures? You must have procedures. You don't have any problem in your life? Yes, you consult people of knowledge. Which people of knowledge you consult? Am I very tough? Everybody is scared. What's wrong? What's going on? I'm a good guy. I'm not doing anything. Exactly. You consult those you trust. So do the same with Islamic banks. If you know the Sharia board, the people, the Islamic consultants in the bank, and you trust them, Bismillah, go ahead. Now, yeah.
Sorry, there's a car which is blocking. It's a red car, HT24 EGV. HT24 EGV. I think it's a Kia. If it's your car, please can you remove it?
Can you?
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So first of all, you have to make sure that the bank has Sharia board that you trust. You know them. It doesn't mean that you know them. It doesn't mean that you know them individually. You know them. Now everybody I think knows Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah. Everybody knows Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. You never met them, but you know them through their books, through their da'wah. So you trust them. Now we have scholars in this field who are very knowledgeable, very famous. So if you have someone like this in this field, this is number one. This is enough, inshallah, in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer when Allah asks you why you go for this contract. Secondly, if the Islamic bank has auditing department, Idarat al-Tadqiq, that means they are not playing. They are doing their job properly. So in Islamic bank, they're supposed to have two different bodies. One is Sharia boards, scholars who certify the contracts to say this is halal or haram. Then they have auditing department inside the bank following every contract to make sure this contract is done according to the fatwa of this Sharia board. So if those two departments are there in this bank and the Sharia board are well-known scholars, trustworthy, you can go ahead and no problem at all. This is Allah said, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Those are the people of Ahl al-Dhikr you're supposed to ask. So this is how we deal with Islamic banks. Now about he said they have a saving account. In the saving account, the Islamic bank, they either do musharaka, partnership, or they do mudaraba. Usually they do mudaraba. So what's mudaraba? I give you money, you invest it, and the profit, we share it in percentage. 20 to 80, 50 to 50, it doesn't matter. As long as we agree upon something. So in Islamic bank, when they take your money in saving account, they will invest it in very, very secure business. And you know there are secure business. But usually secure business have very low profit. When the risk is high, the profit is high. When the risk is low, the profit is low. This is how it is usually in business. So when they tell you that you will have, let's say for example, 10%, there is no Islamic bank will say to you will make £100 a month or £1,000 a year. No. There is no Islamic contract secure profit for you. Nothing like this. They will tell you what they are expecting to make. But if they lose, you have to lose with them. In mudaraba, when you give money, and I give you money to invest, I am using my money as a partner, and you using your experience, your time, as a partner. So if we lose, I lose money, you lose time and experience. If we make profit, we both make profit, and the capital is mine. So I don't think there is any Islamic bank, even the dodgy one, can do this. Maybe he misunderstood them, I don't know. But there is no Islamic bank will say to you, give me 10,000 and you will make £100 a month. No way. Because then everybody will say this is riba. And this is riba. If someone asks you to give him 1,000 to invest it, and he will guarantee for you £50 a month, it's riba. Because it's as simple as this. It's a loan that he's giving you profit on that loan. Because in Islam, when you give money to invest, you have to share the loss and the profit. You can't just share the profit. So I don't, Islamically, and all Islamic banks, I don't know any Islamic banks can claim that their saving account is secure 100% and you can't make any loss. No. They will, when you sign a contract, they will tell you if there is any loss, you have to share with us. But in some contracts, I've seen this, when you sign it, they will tell you, listen, the government will force us to give you your money back. Islamically, you are not allowed to take it. But because of the law, they force us. So they will let you know in advance what is Islam, and they leave it between you and Allah. They say, we signed a contract. Islamically, you are not allowed to take your money back if we make a loss. As long as it's not their mistake. So, inshallah, the saving account is fine with Islamic banks, unless if there is any mistakes in practicality, that's another issue. But generally speaking, there is no profit guaranteed in saving accounts Islamic banks.
So back to that question, where the bank is guaranteeing you a certain percentage, so 4.2% or whatever was the question.
Yeah, they can't guarantee.
So that's just
Expectation, just expectation.
Okay, expectation.
Yeah.
They typically are giving you an amount. You're not losing any money, you're always gaining.
No, they will tell you, we are expecting to make 20% profit in the year. 10%, 2%. This is what we're expecting, and this is what you will have monthly. But if we make a loss, you lose with us. That's what they do. They can't say to you, you will make 2% profit every month. This is guaranteed.
So here what you're saying is that, so here you won't make a loss.
No,
But you're saying that's because
you make a loss according to the Islamic contract. According to the law in some countries, they will say the government forced the bank to give the money back to their customer. So in this situation, the bank will tell you, We can't say, by the law we are forced to give it to you, but Islamically you are not allowed to take it. Islamically, mudaraba you have to share with us. Loss and profit. The only thing you should have that we explain to you why we make a loss. So if it's not our mistake, we can't take the responsibility. We have to share the loss. But like no one can guarantee mudaraba contract the profit. Naam, tfadal.
Go ahead.
Back of what you were talking about, what is the difference when an Islamic bank says to you 2.4% and say a non-Muslim bank like NatWest says the same thing to you?
Understood.
What's the major difference between that then?
The brother's asking then, what's the difference between when an Islamic bank says to you, you're going to get a certain percentage, and between a conventional bank like NatWest says you're going to get a certain percentage?
In Islamic bank, this is not guaranteed. In conventional bank, this is guaranteed. This is the difference.
And if they guarantee that, does that become riba?
Of course, 100%. Actually, no way. They can't guarantee this. Because if they guarantee this, that means they're not Islamic bank. Because these are the basics. They might have some issues in some points where there are different opinions. In this one, it's agreed upon. It's ijma'. No doubt. Mudaraba contract cannot be guaranteed. When you invest, you have to share the loss and the profit. You can't, if you guarantee, it's riba. 100%. There is no doubt about this.
Also, how does one then move away from these type of banks?
I don't think there is any bank claims to be Islamic here, at least let's talk about the UK, can do this. I don't think so. I am telling you 99%.
To avoid sinning, how would someone then look to...
Best thing, best thing, do your own business or involve with the companies. Forget about bank. There are some companies, Muslim brothers, Muslim companies who invest your money according to the Islam. Join those people. And usually they have higher profit percentage, but usually there is a risk. There is a risk. So this is the best way of doing it, But some people, especially old people, like to put their money in saving account, just get 2% profit, alhamdulillah. Why Islamic bank, when he tells you we are expecting 2%, because I told you they invest in very secure business. So the percentage rarely when it changes. So they know what they do. They put in something huge that is nearly guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but they know they will not make a loss, except in very rare situations. Yeah. So that's why they are happy to talk with you with security. Say we will not lose, inshallah. But in the contract, they cannot guarantee the profit. If they say 2% is guaranteed, then it is 100% riba. There's no doubt about it.
Any other questions from the floor? Yes, brother.
What's the Islamic definition of riba?
What is the Islamic definition of riba?
Linguistically, riba is to increase, الزيادة. Islamically, two types of riba. One is to add, to put extra on your loan. So we give you loan and I take more than what I gave you. The other, this is riba nasi'ah. The riba al-fadl, 6 types of items we mentioned last time, the gold and silver, wheat, salt, etc. When you sell them, they have to be on spot, immediate, and equal. This is there is no specific wording that cover the definition of riba because it's explanation of the type of riba. But there's riba nasi'ah, riba al-fadl. Riba nasi'ah, when you give a loan, you take more than what you have given. The riba al-fadl, when you trade in specific items and you don't pay on spot or you don't pay equal to equal. This is generally the meaning of riba.
Yes, brother.
I probably wasn't here for the last time you spoke on this topic. What is the Islamic, the ruling about mortgages and how does one avoid getting into a mortgage?
The brother's asking, what is the Islamic ruling on a mortgage and how does one avoid getting into a mortgage? I'll tie that into another question here. Could you recommend an Islamic mortgage provider in this country? And would I be able to use that Islamic mortgage provider for investment as opposed to living for a house I would live in?
Okay. Now, I can't recommend any bank. First of all, I can't do this because I'm supposed to tell the truth and advise people about what's halal and haram. If I start directing you to a specific bank, people think that I have a commission in that bank. So I can't direct you to any bank or to any company. But if you ask me about that specific bank and I know information about it, I will tell you it's halal or haram. There is a big difference between I start telling people, go to Rayyan Bank, go to Rayyan Bank. People say, well, you should have some commission sending people there. But if you ask me, is a Rayyan Bank halal or haram, then I'll tell you according to my understanding. Secondly, when we say Islamic mortgage, the name is wrong. That's why people are so-called mortgage. Yeah, because in Islam, in Islamic bank, there is no mortgage. They don't give you loan. You have to understand this. They don't give you loan. They invest with you. That's why it's a very complicated process. Now in conventional banks, 1 + 1, 2, easy. They give you loan, you bring back extra, clear riba, go Jahannam, easy. No complications. It's clear, isn't it? But in Islamic bank, oh, it's too long. You have to sign a contract. They will buy it on your behalf. Then they will resell it to you, or they will take you as a partner. Then they'll buy the house, and they have to make sure that they will pay for the insurance and you pay that. It's a process of business. But the other one is just a loan. They give you money and take back, and that's it. So in Islamic bank, the Islamic mortgage, now 20 years before, 25 years before, there were some big issues. Now they are improving very fast. And mashallah, they are going and becoming better and better. And if you remember, I told you at the beginning, I'm not telling you this is agreed upon. Many issues that is not agreed upon. Now, for example, let's talk about murabaha. You know murabaha? Now murabaha is like this. I go to China to bring, let's say, laptops. Okay? I'm going there. You can't go. And you don't have enough money to buy that. Forget about laptop, it's small amount. Cars, okay? I go to Germany and bring cars. You can't afford it to pay for the car in one go. So you tell me, say, Abu Yahya, if you can buy me that specific car, I will buy it, it's let's say 100,000 pounds. I will buy it from you and I'll make you 10% profit. So you say, Abu Yahya, bring it, buy it, bring it to me, add all your cost, plus 10% profit, I will take it. But in installment, I can't buy it in one go. Did you understand it? Do you do this? Did you hear about this? In daily life, people do this. Anyway, this is one of the main contracts in the banks. They call it murabaha. You come, you say, see that house? I want to buy it. There are procedures, they will check your credit, blah, blah. They will check. I'm not talking about how they do it. I'm talking about the nature of the contract. You come and say, I want to buy this house. How much is this house? 300,000. They will say, that's fine. We will buy it for you. It's going to cost you 350. Okay? Because we're adding, let's say, 10% whatever, plus the cost, the paperwork, etc. They will give you how much it's going to cost. Islamically, they have to tell you how much exactly costed them. And they add this, then they add the percentage, and they give you the total, and they resell it to you in installment. Now, if you say yes, Islamically, you can't sign anything with them until they buy and they own the house. They own the house. Why? Because they can't sell something they don't own. So what they do, they say to you, come, what's your name, Akhi? Zakaria, come Zakaria. Come and sign a wa'd, a promise that if we buy this on your behalf, you will buy it from us. Don't give us headache. Because, for example, when it's houses, it's easy. Cars, it's easy. But if someone wants to import a factory, 3 million pounds in something very complicated, not anyone is interested in that business. So it's only you and few people who can buy it. If they bring a car, if you leave them, they say, that's fine, we can have 10 people waiting for this special installment. But that specific factory, no one will buy it. So if you don't promise us, we will be in trouble. So you promise, you just promise, you don't buy. To buy it when they get it for you. So they go and get the factory and bring it to you. You say, no, I don't want to have it. So what do you think? Is this fair? Okay, let's put it in another example which you will understand how difficult it is. Salim is single Muslim, okay? And he wants to get married. But he's very poor. Has nothing. Miskeen. So I come to him and say, Salim, why don't you get married? He said, Akhi, I'm ready, but no money. I said, that's fine. Just go find Abu Yahya will pay for everything. Sure, Abu Yahya? Yeah, 100% sure. How much is going to cost? 10,000? Easy. Just find the sister, prepare yourself, even the honeymoon, I'll pay for it. Salim goes, find a nice sister, Bismillah, make the aqd, and come to me. Say, Salim, sorry, well, I have a problem, I can't pay you money. I don't have anything to give you now. What do you think Salim will do to me now? At least he will beat me up, at least, if he can't take me to the prison. Yeah, because I let him down. So the same with the banks. They can't buy and bring that factory from China or Vietnam to you here, and you say, no, okay, I'll change my mind. No, come on. It's £3 million, and it's not their money. It's the money of you. You put your money in bank, and they're using your money. So those people will be upset because they lost.
Would they not ask you for like a deposit up front?
No. I'll come to this point. I'm just explaining this so you understand. Now what I'm telling you, so what they will do, they will make you sign a wa'd, just a promise. Now this promise, there is a huge dispute about it. Is it halal or not? Majority now they say it's halal. No problem. But when you sign a wa'd, it doesn't mean you bought that factory. No, you just promise to buy that factory. So if they bring the factory, we have what either you say yes and take it, alhamdulillah, there is no problem now. You say no. They said, the scholar said, now the bank should sell the factory. If they make their money back, alhamdulillah, you go. They will blacklist you because you lied to them, but you go. They won't ask you anything. But if they sell it above, they make profit, it's their money, barakah. If they sell it for 2,900,000, they lose £100, they say, you have to pay for this because you caused this trouble to them. So they won't ask you to take it, they will ask you to cover the loss that caused by you. Okay? So this is how they do it. If you go to conventional banks, they don't even waste their time with you. They will give you 3 million to bring the factory, and they will take 3.5 million, whatever interest, and no, they won't even negotiate with you anything. So you see the difference is a huge difference. And then they will make installments. They make the payment installment, and this is very important point. Some people say, okay, Islamic Bank is taking too much money. I'm not defending them. But is there any limit for profit? What's your name, Akhi? You. Yasser. Yasser, you bought a car. Okay? Mercedes. Then suddenly, the price of the Mercedes was 10,000. You are a barakah man, mashallah, man full of barakah. You bought it today, next month, this car became 20,000. The value of the car became 20,000. The market went up for any reason. And you are a car dealer, you want to sell it. And you are planning to sell it for 12,000 to make 2,000 profit. Now it became 20,000 the market. How much you'll sell it? Tell me the truth. 12,000? 20,000, huh? You make double, man. You're slaughtering people. It's halal. Allah gave him this chance to make a profit. So why not? Okay? So what I'm saying, I'm not saying Islamic Bank are perfect and they are very good. I told you before, I'm not happy with it, even with the name Islamic Bank. When it's 15 minutes, let me know, okay? Before I say.
Okay.
So, because when you call it Islamic, people think we talk about Abu Bakr and Umar. No. These people are businessmen. Actually, some of them came from riba background, from other banks. So their mentality is not that pure. We are fighting with them to push them towards the halal way. That's it. Otherwise, some of them, they don't want this headache. And they told us, frankly, in some banks, come on, man, it's too much headache. Just take it easy, take the loan and get extra, assalamu alaikum, easy. Why is this complication? So now, when the bank make profit, now you have two ways, okay? Now, if you buy a car through a conventional bank, okay? And you buy another car through Islamic Bank, okay? The Islamic Bank, let's say, they made 20% profit. They added 20%. And the conventional bank added 10%. Okay? Now, which one looks cheaper? Conventional is 10%, isn't it? Although it's haram, but it's cheaper. Okay. Relax. Usually you pay this in 5 years, sometimes in 10 years. If you have default, if you can't pay for 1 month, what will happen in the Islamic bank and what will happen in the conventional bank?
Conventional bank will put a default in.
Exactly. So the amount will be increased. Islamic bank, they will just send you notes. Please pay your money. If you can't, then we move to plan B. You have a guarantor who will pay on your behalf or do something else. So the amount is fixed, will not add £1. So you see the difference. Islam, it is there. It's there. They trying their best to make it Islamic. But the problem, people do not go and dig and to try to understand. So what was the question? I completely forgot.
It was could you recommend an Islamic mortgage provider?
So basically, Islamic mortgage, I told you before, if the Islamic bank, if you know the Sharia board, you know any one of them, you trust them, go ahead. It's halal. It's halal. You buy the mortgage. For you, you are not specialist in this field. Like other. Now if some people start asking you about conditions of nikah, will you answer? You can't answer. You refer them to people of knowledge. So the same here. You have someone, you trust him in that Sharia board. Khalas, you follow his, what they say to you is halal, certified by them. Bismillah, go ahead. You can take this mortgage. And now there is a point I need to raise now. I know some people, they will be upset with me, not here, other places that maybe it's live. But I will say it, I'm fed up, So people think, when you talk about buying a house and mortgage, they say, no, be patient. You can rent a house, no problem. Rent a house. Come on, man. Renting a house is a hassle, is a headache. If you want to deny this, you can deny it. But we lived. I don't have any house, by the way. So I'm not justifying what I'm doing, okay? I don't own any house. I'm still renting. But I'm telling you, it's a hassle for the family. When the Lord tell you, give you notes, 1 month, 2 months, the whole system will be changed. Your children's school, your masjid, your this. So your life is messed up completely. So do not downgrade or downestimate the importance of owning a house. It is an essential. And I advise every young to start his life focusing at this point. Own a house. Buy a house. Halal in halal way. Do your best to buy it. Because it will move you. It makes maybe 40% of your hustle off. So don't think buying a house is something easy to talk about. Oh, you can rent a, no, it's headache, it's hustle, it's mashaqqa. It's mashaqqa, and in some situations it hit the state of darura, necessity. So to keep your Islam, to keep your deen, to keep your children, you need a house. You need to have a house, and that's why we are trying our best to tell people, this is halal, go for it. I'm not saying Islamic mortgage is the best. No, it's just halal. We're saying halal, say, okay, let me show you something. Now this circle here, okay? This is the circle of halal, okay? We have transactions here. And we have transactions here. Just one step, they move to haram. Okay? So they might be here. But it's still halal. It's still halal. Why are you upset? Go for it. And the problem is that you need it. I'm not saying buy 10 houses and make business. Just own your own, buy a house for your family. So even if it's here, as long as it's halal, go for it. Do it and don't do like us.
Yes, brother.
Salam.
From your lecture a couple of weeks ago, there was a few of us brothers were confused about one point.
Yeah. I always confuse people before I go.
In regards to major contracts, so if you purchase, say you gave the example of a laptop, and if there's a secondary benefit that you get, say like insurance cover. So say.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So there's 2 points. So if one, you buy a laptop for £1,000, and within that they give you, free breakdown cover, whatever.
Yeah.
But then some brothers thought that actually meant if you bought a laptop for £1,000 and at the point of sale you buy the insurance for £30, that is acceptable.
Okay.
Is it the form or the?
Okay.
The
It's good you remind me. Yeah.
The brother's asking, so there's some confusion that he had from the last lesson. So if somebody was to purchase a laptop and it cost £1,000, and at the point of sale, he was offered insurance for a very a minimal amount, let's say £30 or so. Would it be permissible for him at the point of sale to purchase the breakdown cover if it wasn't already included within the price?
Before I forget, you know the table we discussed last lecture about the riba when it is compulsory, you know, with color pink, and there was issues with it because I gave it to someone to translate it. The original one with me was perfect, but the one who translated, he messed it up, and no one notes it. The idea, alhamdulillah, is okay, is understood by everybody, but inshallah, one of the brothers, I don't know who is it, the brother, I sent him the slides, and Jazallah khair, he picked it up and he told me that there's a mistake. So if anyone took the slides, just send me a message, I will send you the correct one. Now, your question is about the subcontract. It's as simple as this. When you're having a subcontract, the subcontract could have ambiguity, gharar, and it should be it's okay, it's acceptable. Now, in the issue we talked about, now you're buying a laptop, and when you went to buy it, before you sign with them and buy the laptop, they said to you, we can add £30 for insurance. Now, my question is, what's your name, Akhi? Yusuf. When you say yes, are you contracting on insurance or on laptop? Which one you are buying now?
Laptop
With. What's the main one? Both, of course, we're paying for both. But what is the main one? Are you buying the insurance for the laptop, or you're buying the laptop for the insurance? So you're buying the laptop and you added insurance. So which one is subcontract and which one is the main contract? So you're buying a laptop, you're not buying insurance. You are not going for the insurance purpose. You're going for a laptop, and they give you a subcontract, which is insurance. That's why when you say it's a subcontract, ambiguity, when it is not contracted on, it's halal. This is what I said. There are some scholars, I told you there are many issues that different opinion. I didn't mention last time. They said this is halal as long as they do not separate it from the contract. This is what they said. Like Hanabil, I think they said this. So for example, according to their understanding, they said if you buy the laptop, they should from the beginning include the insurance in the price, not separate it. But inshallah, as I said to you, ambiguity, gharar is haram, but it's less than riba. That's why we found in the Sharia, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger allowed it in some situations. And we gave you example last time of the cow. Cow, pregnant cow, and non-pregnant cow. Now, a pregnant cow cost 1,200. Non-pregnant cow, £1,000. The 200 that added to this cow, for what reason?
Pregnant.
Have a baby coming soon. Okay? So we added £200. The price is more than the non-pregnant one. Okay. Now if someone say, I will just pay 200 for the baby. I just want to buy the baby. When it comes out, give it to me. Is this halal? Why? There's ambiguity. It could die. It might come out dead. So you said it's not halal to pay 200 for the baby. And it is halal to pay 1,200 for the cow with the baby, although you know the 200 is for the baby. Why? Because you are contracting with the cow itself, not on the baby, and the baby just subcontracted. Is added to the price of the mom. Now, what is the wisdom behind prohibiting ambiguity? Scholar says because ambiguity leads to dispute and leads to problems, leads to hatred. Okay? Like gambling. When you pay £10 and you get 100 million, I pay £10, get nothing. إنما يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء في الخمر والميسر. So meisir, gambling, will lead to this, will lead to dispute. Okay? In the case when we buy the cow with the baby and we pay 1,200, if the baby died and came out dead, will you come and fight with me? Why I pay you 200 extra for this? Can you fight for this? I say, I didn't sell you baby, I sell you a cow. I didn't mention anything. The baby is there, and you know that, but we didn't contract. But if you just pay 200 for the baby and it comes out dead, then we will be in trouble. You feel that you are fooled. People that just took your money and you lost your money. You get it, or you just scared? You say this and that. Understand it? Alhamdulillah. Yes. Carry on.
Just staying on the topic of ambiguity. So some people they want to buy a breakdown cover for their car because they're worried they've got families. If the car breaks down on the motorway, they want to be secure. What do you say to those people?
So the brother's asking, so if you're just buying breakdown cover, for example, could we add home insurance onto that as well?
I was going to ask about
Yeah, so also, so if we're just paying to buy, for example, home insurance, when there's going to,
you're paying
for the service, and there's going to be a big calamity if something happens, so is that permissible?
Generally speaking, it's not permissible to involve in any ambiguity contract if there is no need for it. And I didn't say if there is no necessity. We don't need darura to allow the ambiguity contract. In riba, we need darura, necessity, to allow, generally speaking. There are some exceptions. But ambiguity could be allowed when there is a need. And when there is a need, who can say this is need or not? It depends on the specific situation. We can't give just general fatwa. Now, for example, I can give you general fatwa like this, open for the doctors in the UK to have a medical insurance. Because if the doctor makes a mistake in his operation or whatever, he could lose everything. The damage is huge. And there is a high risk for him to stuck with a problem like this. Usually they have problems like that. So if we reach the position or state when we need to be covered, otherwise we will be in a big trouble, then we have to go for this. Otherwise, I can say to you, you don't do even the car insurance, the basic one, and make tawakkul in Allah and go. You will say no, because there's a high risk. I will be captured by the police, or I'll make an accident. I will be in trouble. So it depends. Now, I'll give you an example to make it clear. If someone works in Scotland and he drives a car daily basis, for example, the risk is high for him to break down, to have. It's completely different from someone who his job is walkable. And you say, I want comprehensive insurance. No. So you have to balance it. What is insurance contract is not halal. You have to take what is just needed. But if you need that comprehensive, you can go for it. Yes, sir.
Sorry, can I just add to that? You know, breakdown cover. So breakdown cover, even if you don't have breakdown cover, if you break down, you can still get cover there and then, and they come and rescue you.
This is an option. This is an option. It's
so
an option. If you can afford this, then there is no doubt you leave this. Then you don't. It means that you don't need it.
Okay.
So if there is an option like this, differentiate between luxury and need. Luxury and need. That's it.
Is there any types of insurance that is halal or haram?
There used to be company, but it's bankrupted. There was a company called Salam, I think, but it's gone. Insurance is difficult. It's a small market, and if Islamic insurance convention, takaful insurance, did not work very good in the UK. Outside UK, there are many.
Would you advise to stay away from insurance?
No, if you need, go for it. If you need, go for it.
Examples I have is like life insurance or home insurance.
No, there is no need for it.
So there's no need
Life insurance, there is no need for it. Life insurance, according to my understanding, you just want to secure something for your children after your death. Yeah, that's it. So there is no point.
insurance?
Sorry?
Home insurance?
It depends. If there is any high risk that you might involve in a big damage. And when you say high risk, if you are a millionaire and you can afford it, don't go for insurance. Pay from your pocket. Now, I just want to let you know, now when we spoke about student loan before, some scholars or some student knowledge, they said it's allowed if you need to do so. I'm telling you it's allowed. I'm just telling you what they said. We found some millionaires, they took the student loans for their children. No, for you it's not allowed because you can afford it. So think about it. It's a haram contract. You cannot go for it unless if you are in need. So poor person who wants to study, some scholars say to him, you can go for it because it's a necessity for you. But a rich man or someone can afford it, he can't go for it because it has a ribawi condition inside the contract. نعم يا تفضل.
With car insurance, you should only take as much as you need. So if, say, third-party cover is more expensive than comprehensive cover, which one?
Yeah, pay less.
Pay less.
Yeah, pay less, yeah. The idea is to pay as less as possible. It doesn't matter what they cover. If they give you a comprehensive cheaper than the basic one, go for the comprehensive. The idea is that they will take your money without any reason. And so as long as you pay less, it doesn't matter which type of contract you insure.
Sorry, if third party is cheaper than comprehensive.
No, expensive.
If it's more expensive
Than the comprehensive, you go for a comprehensive.
Okay. Can we do one from the...
Yeah.
So this one is the Arabic one that came in.
Yeah.
So it says, if you can just translate.
No, you carry on. Just
درست أن بيع السلم بيع موصوف في الذمة فالمشتري يقدم الثمن مقدما وعلى البائع أن يأتي بالمبيع الموصوف في الذمة. سؤالي هل هو يجوز للمبائع أن يستعمل مال المشتري ليشتري المبيع أو عليه أن يستعمل مالا آخر؟
What is موصوف الذمة? Last time we spoke about it. Anyone can explain it? Even if you say, you get mistake or wrong, I will not punish you. I will like you. At least I find someone who was listening. موصوف الذمة. We mentioned last time we have two type of items. One is معين, specified, and one is موصوف الذمة, is not specified. Remember this? So for example, we said, if I want to sell to you a black Mercedes with that plate number, this is specified. This is معين. We're talking about specific car. But if I want to sell to you a black Mercedes 2020, brand new, GLK, whatever brand, I don't specify. This is موصوف الذمة. So it means it's just described item. It's not specified. So بيع السلام. What's بيع السلام? بيع السلام at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, people of Medina were farmers. So farmers usually they need capital to fund their to cultivate their lands. Usually farmers they don't have enough. What they make they eat. So they come to rich people say, if you give me this specific amount of money now, after 1 year I will give you that specific amount of that crops, potato, tomatoes, whatever. Is this halal? Halal, because the Prophet ﷺ allowed it. Imagine it's halal. It looks very weird, but it's halal. I am a farmer. I come to you. You're a rich man. I said, I need 100,000 pounds. And after 2 years, not 1 year, I will bring you 20 tons of potato. And this is the description of potatoes I'm going to bring to you. Happy? You happy. You give me to 100,000 now, and I'll see you after 2 years. This is halal contract. Prophet ﷺ allowed it. Now, where is the potato? Is it specified or described? Described. Actually, at that time, usually there is no potato. They haven't started yet. So it's موصوف بالذمة. Okay, the question is, he's asking, when I take the 100,000 pounds, am I allowed to use this money to buy or to plant the potato, or should I use another money? Of course, you are allowed. It's your money. You've taken the money now. Now you owe the man or that person who give you the money, you owe him what? You owe him what? Potato. 20,000 of potato. You don't owe him 100,000 pounds because you made a contract of buying and selling. You are not taking a loan now. So of course this is your money. You can plant it, you can plant potato, you can go and get married, you can do anything. After 2 years you have to bring the 20 ton of potato to that person. You bring it, you buy it, you steal it, it doesn't matter. You bring it to him. You understand the contract? So this is how the contract works in Salam. And of course it's your money. It's your money, take it and use it.
Any other questions from the floor? Yes, brother.
What's the permissibility of using Google Ads when it comes to Google Ads?
Yeah.
And advertising
Yeah. So
Well, the
yeah.
question is, what is the ruling on using Google Ads to advertise your business?
Yeah. Can you give me more information about your the ads you're talking about?
Yeah, so basically, so you have a website, for example, and you can decide to pay per click. So every time a person clicks on that ad, for example, you get charged, and it could be monthly or on a daily basis.
Charged by Google.
Yeah, it's a service. You're basically paying for them to.
So basically, Google will advertise for you,
Yeah.
and by click, every click they'll charge you, for example, $1.
For example, yeah, you know how much you're going to spend, and you can bid as well. You can put like a budget,
Yeah.
or a monthly budget or a daily budget.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there isn't any late payment fee,
Okay.
or there might be some extra charges when it comes to your account being inactive due to a non-payment, for example. But those are like business fees.
Sorry, what's this?
The last part.
Yeah.
So basically, if you don't pay, for example, a charge, let's say someone clicked, but
Yeah.
you don't have the money for it,
Yeah.
and so what's going to happen is that you're not going to be able to pay, so they will deactivate your account.
Okay.
So because of that, they might charge you some admin fees, for example.
To admit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, advertisement, generally speaking, is halal. It's a service. As long as you don't advertise something haram, it's fine. And as long as you don't deal with a company that is pure haram. Now, Google is mixed, isn't it? Google deals with halal and haram. He's sheikh, and at the same time he's bad guy. If you ask him about halal, he will tell you. If you ask him about haram, he will tell you. So he's open for everybody. So it's mixed. So it's fine to deal with company like this, as long as you deal with halal. As long as you deal with halal. Now, the conditions of the ads, as the brother mentioned, usually they take money in advance, and sometimes when you become a regular customer, they will give you chance as a credit, so they won't charge you straight away. The last part is that the admin fee, if it's a real admin fee, then it's halal. If it's not, it's haram for them, not for you, because you are forced to do so, unless if you have other options. But if it's a real admin fee, then it's halal, because they deactivated your account and they're charging you extra to activate it again. And because this charge is connected to the late payment, that's why it has a problem. If it's not connected to the late payment, it's fine. It's service and there's no problem with it. So generally speaking, yes, it's fine, inshallah, as long as there's nothing haram in the advertisement itself.
Okay. Sheikh, you mentioned banks to trust. Can you name any banks that we can trust?
No.
Okay, next. Brother.
So my question was, if a person is enrolled into some kind of life insurance, it could be from a parent, it could be from a company, so specifically maybe from a parent, so it's somewhere where you might have some kind of influence, but they insist, no, I'm going to put you on, whether you like it or not, I'm going to pay for life insurance for you. And then something happens down the line to the parent, and the child now has a large amount of money available to them. Do they have to give all that money away, or what do they do?
I don't like to give general fatwa on
Can I
this.
just,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
The life insurance is on the child or on the parent?
So the life insurance is in the benefit of the child.
So the brother's asking if a.
So it might be that they did it for the child without them knowing. Well, they know now, but they insist.
But did they insure themselves?
So I don't know exactly how it works.
Okay.
Usually, what they do, they insure, and I mean, they make their life insurance, and
Yeah.
if they die, the child will have the money.
Yeah. So
That's
if a
what he
parent has life insurance and he passes or she passes away, is the child able? Is it halal for him to utilize that payout that he receives? Is this the question? Yeah.
Anyway, as I said to you, I don't like to answer questions like the general, but if there is any specific case or a situation, you can give them my number and I can understand their situation, and when they take it from there. You know why? Because when you have haram money, it's not agreed upon that you have to give it away. Some scholars mention that if you are a poor person, you can use it as a poor person, not as the owner of the money. Anyway, I know this is complicated. That's why I don't want to give it as an open fatwa so people will misunderstand it and use it the wrong way. So if there is something going on with this, you can give them my number, and I need to understand what is the issue with their with the life insurance and how much they got and who did it, etc., then I can give them fatwa, inshallah, specifically, and I'll have commission, inshallah. Yes, sir.
Yes, brother.
What can we do with the interest that we get from the bank?
Brother's asking, what do we do with the interest that we received?
Bring it to Masjid Taqwa.
From the bank.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bring it to the Masjid Taqwa. Bring it to the masjid, give it to the poor
Can you
people.
give, like, not sadaqah, but like
It's not sadaqah, you are just getting rid of it. So give it to poor person, give it to sadaqah box of the masjid. Yeah, don't leave it in the bank, take it.
sadaqah box.
Yeah, just put it in sadaqah box. Some people leave it in the bank, and some people say, no, I don't want interest. No, take the interest, because it's a haram bank anyway. It's conventional. You are in a riba. Either you take it or you don't take it. You are in a ribawi bank, a conventional bank. So don't think because say, no, I don't want to take the interest, you are on safe side. No, you are dealing with riba anyway. Whether it's halal or haram, it's another issue, because you might need to have a bank account. Like in this country, you can't stay without bank account. So in this case, if you have riba, what to do? The scholars give example like, astaghfirullah al-azim, zania, prostitute. I mean, if someone makes zina and he doesn't pay yet, and he makes repentance, shall we tell him, go and give her money? Fear Allah, pay her. No, come on, man. You can't do haram and give money as well. Take it away and give it to someone else, poor person, something like this. So the same with riba. They are making riba and making profit out of your money, and you want to give them more profit? No. Take as much as you can and give it to the poor people, give it to the masajid, put it anywhere else.
Brother Jose?
What brother, sorry, is asking.
Go ahead.
One of the perks, or one of the things that companies give is pensions. So the pension basically, they say, okay, you pay 5%, we'll give you 10%. So you pay 5% of your salary, we'll add 10% to that. Or in civil service, they say, you pay 5%, we'll pay 25%.
Yeah.
And then you put in the pension. So obviously when you...
Who pays the 20%?
So the company will pay 20%.
Your company. It's private company.
No, yeah,
You working for a private company,
yeah.
so you pay 5%.
You pay 5%, they pay 20%.
The company.
Yeah.
Is it by the law? I mean, they have to do this, or they just give it to you as an option.
No, some companies, automatically you enroll on the pension.
Okay,
You can opt out of the pension as well.
that's fine. Let's go. You opt for.
So you're up for the pension.
Yeah.
Now this money is obviously invested into different.
So 5% from you, 20% from them.
Correct.
It's got invested.
Yeah.
Halal way.
Well, you don't know how it's invested. So it's invested in all sorts of banks or this or this.
They might open a whiskey factory from your money. You have to make sure that it is halal way. You can't just say, I don't know. Because usually they don't care. They invest in everything. So this is the first point. Make sure they invested in halal way. Carry on, yeah?
Okay, I just want to ask about this.
This is number one. Make sure that they don't... Yeah, sorry, yeah.
The brother asked about pension. So if you were to contribute, for example, 5% and the company gives 10%, and we don't know what they're investing in for the pension, it could be some haram company. Then what is the ruling on this?
Yeah.
No.
It's. I mean, you have to make sure they invest in halal way, and you have got the right to ask. Say, where do you invest my money? Secondly, the money they put the 20%. Is this their money or they give it to you?
No, it's their money.
Their money. So basically, you make a partnership and they invested the money together. Yeah, that's fine. As long as they invest in halal way, it's good. And pension is good idea, especially for young people to start, as long as the pension company is halal, because it becomes, mashallah, now if young boy like Abdul Basit is hiding there, Abu Musawwar gives, let's say, £1,000 for a pension company, okay, and he make, let's say, in first year he makes, and they will give the profit is about let's say 5%. Not fixed, but we just say the business is good and they made 5%. So the first year, how much he will have? Sorry? Oh, everybody's scared. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, it will be £1,050. Is this correct? Okay. Next year, how much will be? MashaAllah, yeah. People think £1,100. No. Next year you are investing £1,050. It's not 1,000. And the year after it's like this. So even your capital will be bigger, and your money, the profit will, the 5% will be bigger. So you will make good money as long as the pension company is halal. Yes, someone wants to ask. Yes, تفضل يا أنس.
A question regards to Bay al-Gharar. Some companies they sell customer return pallets. So they'll say this pallet is unchecked. So they don't know what's specifically in the pallet, but they know what the content is supposed to be. So they know that this customer returned this item, and they'll have the name of the item and what it looks like. But they'll say this whole pallet, the actual contents of the boxes, we've not checked them. So it could be that the customer's returned another item. When you receive the pallet, you open the item and it's something else. Or it's the item, but it's it could be brand new, it could be in a different condition. What's the ruling on buying this pallet?
The brother asked, what's the ruling on a customer return pallet? So the pallet will have items in there, and they tell you what the item is supposed to be, but there's a chance that the customer may have put something else in the pallet, in the return pallet, or it may be damaged or missing. So you're not really sure exactly what's within the pallet, although you have an idea. And is this permissible?
What do you think? Let's discuss this. Did you understand the question?
Yes.
So you buy a ballot, and basically you don't know what is it. It might be this, might be that. If this is not ambiguity, then there is no ambiguity in the world. There's definitely gharar. It's 100%. You're buying something you don't know. You guess maybe it's new, maybe it's not. Maybe that thing, maybe not. And you're paying money for this. It's like I say to you, do you want to buy what's in my pocket for £10? It could be a key car, could be just tissue. And it's used tissue. So it's gharar there. There's no doubt about it.
You know, in this case, they've actually told you what the item is.
No, he said they will not tell you exactly what is it.
No, they'll tell you what the item is, but there's a chance maybe the customer left. It hasn't been checked. So maybe the customer said he was supposed to give it, but he put something else in the box. But you've been told that this is what the item is.
There are different ways of doing these type of sales, okay? Now, you are not buying a quantity. Let's say, according to the weight of that ballot. You are buying specific items now. So you are, let's say this ballot has children's shoes. They will tell you we have 100 Adidas, blah. It could be new, it could be used, it could be. If this is the case, you don't know what is you are buying, then this is gharar. Any description, listen to this, any description in the item that affect the value, the price of the item, it should be known, otherwise it will be gharar. Okay? So if the description that missing affects the price, the value of the item, then it's gharar, it's ambiguity. Because now you could buy something deserve this price, and you could buy something that doesn't deserve it.
Okay, go ahead.
What happens in a situation where, say for instance, you buy a piece of equipment from, say, America in US dollars, but then you're scared of volatility in terms of the exchange rate between pound and US dollars, and then you contract with another party, you buy a swap or derivative product, and then you agree to say this is the exchange rate. So that swap is to hedge the risk of exchange movement. Is that permissible?
If it's wa'd, if it's a promise, not a contract. Oh, sorry, he wants to. I don't think he understood the question.
Went over my head.
Can you repeat it?
Explain?
Yes, complicated. Can you repeat? Just repeat it.
So, simplistically, you
Yeah.
want to buy a machine from America.
Yeah.
So it costs $100,000. But you then say, according to you, the exchange rate maybe is 2 to 1. So you're thinking it's £50,000 I want to pay for this machine. But the machine will be delivered maybe
In 1 month,
maybe in 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
So in that particular scenario, there are products in the banking industry called swaps or derivatives, and then it's called hedging. So you buy that derivative, and then you say, I'm promising that you should sell me this $100,000 for me to pay for that machine, and I'm fixing the rate to be £50,000. So if the rate goes up or down, it doesn't matter, I'll still end up paying 50.
If it is a promise, a unilateral promise from one side, it's halal. If it's a, yeah, did you understand the question?
So, yeah.
Okay, try your
So the
best.
brother's asking, just because there's quite a few online.
Yeah.
So the brother's asking, so if I was to buy a product from America, let's say for $100,000, and they will be delivered in, let's say, 6 months, but the rate might go against me in 6 months, am I allowed to buy a product from the bank called hedging, which fixes the rate for me so that I'm not affected by the fluctuations in the conversion rate in the future?
It's like this, just to make it easy for you. It's not that is agreed upon. We're trying to find a solution for them. Because in this derivatives, the futures, options, the contracts, it's a very big issue and it's a very big market, and most of it is not halal. So the scholars try their best to make it in halal way. Now, for example, if I want to use 100,000 pounds today, okay, I want to buy it from you to use it. Basically, I wanted to take it you want you to lend me 100,000. This is the reality, okay, in these contracts. I want you to lend me 100,000. Now, when I give it back to you, I don't want to give it back to you with a profit, because it becomes haram. Well, if you lend me 100,000, I give you back 100,000. You don't want to give 100,000 for free. So what will you do? I say, I will buy 100,000 from you now for, let's say, $120,000. Okay? And I promise, or you promise me, you will buy it back from me after 1 week or 10 days for 125, for example. I'm happy with the price. Because I'm going to use this for 1 month and give it back to you. And I'm happy with this percentage that you're making, because we're selling currencies now. And you are happy with this. So they call this hedging. Now, we can't sign a contract. You can't give me 100,000 pounds for $120,005 and sign a contract that you will buy it back from me after 1 month. You can't do this. This is haram, because buying currency should be on spot. And people usually, banks do this for hedging, to protect themselves for the currency fluctuation. So what we do, Islamically, if you can get someone who will do swap or options or futures, unilateral promise, wa'ad from one side. So you promise to buy it or he promised to sell it, then it's halal. But if you both promise each other, or if you involve in a real contract before you deliver the money, then it's not permissible. You understand it?
Just have 10 minutes now till Adhan.
Khalas, that's fine, yeah.
So, yes, brother.
Are people allowed to work in the bank or allowed to work also in insurance companies?
The question is, can people work in banks or in insurance companies?
Islamic bank or conventional?
Anything.
No, Islamic is halal. You can work in Islamic bank, even if you think the Islamic bank is not very good, but you go with the intention to improve it, it's halal. It's permissible. And same with the Takaful insurance company is permissible. But the conventional ones don't work there. Don't work there.
Sheikh, have you heard of primary finance?
No.
Okay. Yes, Yusuf.
Let's answer.
So when you're buying currency, say if you want to go on holiday, and sometimes you can purchase it online, so like M&S, sometimes you can buy currency online. If you have to then pick it up, or they send it in the post, the euros that you bought, is that impermissible, because you're not exchanging, you're exchanging money for money, but it's not hand by hand?
Do they do this? Do they send it by post?
Yeah, or you can go pick it up from the stores, etc. So you can do it online just to make it easy, and then you go to...
No, you can't do this.
The brother's asking, so can you exchange money, buy different currencies online, knowing that there'll be a delay? It won't be there and then you'll have to go and travel or get it from the store later.
It has to be on spot. I mean, either they deliver it to your account, or you go there and do the payment with them while you are there, and give them the money and take back what you want from them. Selling and buying currencies must be on immediate payment. I'm trying to make it as halal as possible, but sometimes it's not. The life is difficult now. And Muslims now struggle everywhere. And the problem we are facing now, there are many, many students of knowledge. I personally met them. They don't know the financial section, and they just say haram, 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 making it difficult for everybody. Where with the halal is there, but they don't know how to. And I'm not blaming them. He thinks it's haram, khalas. But if we want to improve the ummah, we have to understand that we are a weak ummah living in a world based on riba. Based on riba. I remember one of the countries, a brother working in the central bank. It's a Muslim country. In the central bank, and he got married. He worked for maybe 2 years. Then he got married. He had a baby boy. Subhanallah, look at the father. He's worried about his son more than himself. He said to me, listen, before I worked, I didn't care. It's me. I will go Jahannam, no problem. But my son, no way. I have a baby now. I need to make sure my business is halal. So I said, what's the problem? He said, I'm working in that department, and that department is dealing with the, subhanallah, I just forgot the term of the sanadat. Not the share, like shares, when, subhanallah, stocks, like stocks, something like this. So they buy stocks, and then they buy from the central banks of other non-Muslim countries. Huh? Bonds, yeah, barakallahu feek. Bonds, yeah. They buy bonds from other non-Muslim countries. And when you buy bonds from central bank non-Muslim countries, there is no doubt there will be interest there. They involve interest. Even that, not they taking, they give it to you, but you have to take it. So the brother said to me, this department is haram, blah, 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 blah. I want to leave. I want to stop my business. I just said because I know that country, they are working on it. They wanted to stop the riba. And they stopped the riba inside the country, but they couldn't stop the riba outside the country. So I said to him, just go and ask your supervisor. So his supervisor, someone, mashallah, memorized the Quran, a very good brother, mashallah, a knowledgeable brother. And he's working, I said, he's your boss. Your boss is imam, he's leading the salah, man. So do you think he's stupid to work in? Just relax. So he spoke to him. He said to him, let's say, for example, their currency is pound. I don't want to mention the country, okay? So if the pound for $1.20, for example, he said, if we stop these bonds today, tomorrow, $1 will be for 20 pounds. Our currency will collapse. Tomorrow, said the economy of the country will be finished. He said, we can't do it. We are in a state of darura. We cannot avoid this right now. We are working on it. We are doing our best, but we're weak. So you have to understand this. So in this situation, I'm not encouraging people to go for haram. No, I'm encouraging brothers, always try to be free. Try to have your own business. Try to encourage the people who wants to do halal. Encourage them. Don't keep criticizing them. Oh, they have this so-called halal company. So-called. Why you are upset to find the halal company? It could be halal. So try to encourage people and help them and make dua for them, because this is the future of our children. Okay, it's too late for us, for example, now to have Islamic mortgage, but it's good for the youngsters. So we could have a strong generation with their own houses. MashaAllah, they are very, very well financially, and they can, inshallah, then improve the da'wah and help the ummah, inshallah. Fadl Salim.
So you gave the example about paying £10 what's in the country could be a coffee or used tissue. So buying something unknown, is this allowed?
So the brother asked about buying something which is unknown. For example, if somebody was to sell you whatever is in their pocket and you don't know what it is this allowed?
Yeah, it's a condition of the bay' to know the price and to know the item. Both must be known. If one of them is unknown, it's then gharar. Then it's not allowed. Yeah.
Excuse me, Sheikh. Is it permissible?
You want to translate it?
Which one? That one?
No, the answer. I was waiting for you to translate to Urdu.
Is it permissible to rent a house from a landlord that you specifically know that he's got a mortgage on the house and he's paying interest?
Is it permissible to rent a property from a landlord who is paying mortgage and riba on that house?
Generally speaking, it's halal. It's allowed, but better to avoid it. Why? Because why he took the mortgage, we don't know. He could have exceptions. It could be halal for him. And the contract between him and the bank, nothing to do with you. You are contracting with this house that is, it's halal item. The house is halal. You're not renting a church. You're renting a house. So in this case, it's halal, but it's better to avoid it, not to encourage people to go for mortgage.
We'll do another question from here. So it's about zakat on business. I purchased items for £5 and I sell them for £100. I've recently started the business. If I was to pay zakah on the price that I sell them for, I would go bankrupt. I wouldn't have enough money because I have sold everything. Can I pay the zakah on the purchase price of whatever I purchased them at £5, or do I have to pay on the £100?
No, it depends when they are going to sell this. Now, the profit you make in your business, it's your money, and it's zakatable. You have to pay zakah for it. But if you are expecting to sell it after you're giving the zakah out, you just pay zakah for the £5. So let's say, for example, he or she or this person is investing his money in different type of items. One day in the year that he reaches the nisab, and that day, specific day, every year he check how much he has and pay zakah on that. Forget about how much profit there. As long as the money is within this business.
Does he check the stock then?
Everything. But the value of the stock, maybe they talk about the value of the stock there. How much is that? The value, forget about the profit. You haven't done profit yet. So the value, it will be the value of the product in the market.
That you purchased that? Or?
Yeah, let's say you purchase for £5.
Yeah.
Now it's in the market. Some scholars say they go for £5, but the correct is, how much the value for this one in the market? Is it £5 or £10 or £15? This is the zakah for this one. Because in reality, you have that amount, not the product itself. In reality, this water, let's say I bought it for 50 pence. I got it cheap. But it's in the market £1. In reality, I have £1, not 50 pence. I have £1 because this is the value of this. And you know how much is zakah? 2.5. It's nothing, man. If you have million, how much you have to pay?
2,500.
How much? No. 25,000. That's it. He said 2,500. Then everybody leaves zakah. Nobody will pay zakah. 25, and people are begging us, can I not pay zakah for this? It's 2.5.
No, but in the case of that brother, the realizable value for him is £100. So that's the price in the market. The 2.5% is £2.50.
Yeah.
Which accounts for 50% of his purchase price.
Yeah, but
so that's why that's the question.
No, this okay. Why he looked at the value, the price that he bought it for? He didn't look at the value now. Now, in reality, how much he has? £5 or £100? How much he has? I'm talking about the market value. If he goes out and sell it for £100, I'm not talking about his price. We have three things: the price of the purchase, the price we are expecting to make or to sell, and the value of the market. I'm talking about the value in the market. Where you take it out, easy to get the money from that product, that specific amount of money. So the value market is the one that should be considered. And which one? Is the wholesaler or retailer? It depends on your market. If you are a retailer, then you consider this price. If you're a wholesaler, you consider the wholesaler price.
Jazakallah khair. Octana will end here now because we need to get the adhan done. Jazakumullah khairan for everyone for attending. And inshallah next week, Saturday, there will be the continuation of the life of Umar radiallahu anhu by Sheikh Aqil Mahmood. That'll be next week, Saturday, inshallah. Wa jazakumullah khair.